So today I am going to go to Yoko Ono, the exhibition at the Tate. I'm really excited about this. In my adult life, I don't think I know of her doing any big major exhibitions like this in London. And to be honest, it always seems that she's doing them in New York and I always get to miss those bits. I'm walking from the Bankside at the moment, as you can see, and it's beautiful. I would recommend, if you're going to do this and you're going to go on a weekend, go in the morning where it's just no people around and it's just really peaceful to walk and see. And yeah, if you don't like hustle and bustle like I don't. Anyway, it's enough of that. Let's go into the Tate and let's go and look at the work. So coming into this space, here is the wishing trees. If you've seen Yoko Ono's work before, this is something that she's famous for. I never realised with hearing the music and going into it, I did make a little wish on the tree myself. I got quite emotional and I actually liked reading some of the others. And I found this, even before entering, quite deeply moving actually. Okay, I'm not going to lie, here I was a bit like, what's going on? And have I just walked into a 1970s version of contemporary art? I was a bit like eye roll sigh. And I know if I'm thinking that, some of the viewers in the comments I've seen on previous videos are definitely going to be coming for me on this one, but I love to see your point of view. This again just didn't do it for me as someone who practices art. A lot of Yoko's work has got great concepts behind it, but sometimes it's a bit, yeah, like this one was the idea of this guard would stand there and they would use this charcoal activated water on this special paper and they would just drop a piece on it once an hour, and that's a lady standing there with it. The rebellious side of me did like the next bit because people do not read, that's what I will say, so that you can't touch. I mean, everyone's exploring, looking at the next one, and a lot of her work is about being interactive, so it actually says step on me, a work to be stepped on. So that's what I've gone ahead and done while people are taking pictures and circulating and looking around. I did notice once I did this, other people started trying to step, and I did love the little child's response at the end. Have a look.
What did that say?
So this is just some of the signage showing you the pieces and the concepts behind. In case you wanted to have a pause and have a look, you're more than welcome to. And then these bits I really did enjoy. One thing I will say is it's a lot of reading in this exhibition, and even her work is a lot of it is actually instructions and concepts. So for example, this is instructions how to make your own work. The next room we're going in is again audience participation. You have to kind of put this sack thing on the body and move around, and it's a concept of space. I actually did like being an observer to this, though I did feel like I didn't want to do this alone with my handbag and putting bits down, so I just felt like, you know, I would have liked it if I was with somebody else. And I will say that's a theme that happened for me a few times in this exhibition. I don't normally care, to be honest, and I know it sounds bad, if I go to an exhibition with somebody else or if I'm by myself, as I'm there for the art. I love my artwork and I love sharing it with you guys on these videos. This is why I do these videos, and I love your comments. But there was a lot of audience participation pieces that I felt was a little bit harder to do, or some impossible, like one where you have to put your hand through a canvas and actually shake another person if you're not with somebody. And in London, other people don't engage as much. So going on to this piece, the morning piece, I'm 50-50 on this. I love the concept of what she did, and she got people to do this kind of performance art piece coming at set times. However, the finale, the kind of piece we're looking in the presentation, I feel like part of the work was meeting her and John doing this, and John Lennon, of course, I mean by this. I do think her work is really great in a performance piece. Looking at the finale results, I'm 50-50. Tell me what you think in your comments. I'd love to know. Moving on to Grapefruit, which is about her child. I really liked this one with the baby, Prince and Time. And that's some more pieces with instructions. The painting to shake hands, this is what I was talking to you about earlier. So yeah, when people don't want to read and play, it's hard to do it by yourself. Though I did get my attention in a moment with a light projector at the end, and I managed to find a way of doing this one by myself, which I'll show you, and did enjoy that one. So if you've been wondering what all the nailing was in the background, this is it. I wasn't doing accents with my sound, it was part of it. And lovely person who worked in the Tate actually filmed this part for me so I could show you. I had fun doing this. So this was another one that excited me personally. The idea of the famous lions in the 70s being wrapped up, and just this is crazy. This is a bit of art that I actually went to go to see and wanted to see. I also liked, I found out later on when Yoko did this art installation, she had the apple there, and apparently this is how she first met John, because as a Beatles member he came in and seen it, he looked at the apple and teased her and took a bite of it, which was meant to be on display. I'm guessing that's how the Beatles have so much imagery to do with the apple in it as well, probably something between the two of them and the concepts at the time. But moving on, this piece is now going on to the wedding certificate and a little bit about actually them in a wedding. And as we know, they got married. I say in a wedding, they did get married. This was an album with some inserts and photography and kind of documenting their wedding. The bit where it comes up with two virgins and a naked picture of them, which is going to come up in a moment, I did feel like, are they like the first Kardashians in a sense, where they were giving their life in a reality way before kind of the MTV culture took on and then other shows. But yeah, So the space is quite large, to be honest, and this is some of the work by Yoko Ono and the Plastics and Yoko Ono solely, done on her vinyls. When you come out of this room, it kind of makes you really remember how much work has actually been done, and this is a great retrospective of the artist's work, and she's got a music career as well. So going into space, there was some bits there which were, for example, the bum and people watching. I just found humorous. Now, before people say about all the concepts, I wanted to actually show this one in particular. I was very impressed by this wall, as it's meditative dot drawing. It's actually something I do, and I didn't know this was a thing, to be honest. I kind of actually do some of my own drawings with little dots like this and just go with energy. And if you watch any of my previous shows, I always talk about energy and drawing. And to find that Yoko Ono was doing this way before me, my mind was blown. And actually also the level of her drawing abilities, the level of the concentration, the level of the piece, I just feel like this is something that if I were to show you one of these on an album cover for any other band, you would not think this was done by Miss Yoko Ono. So I was very, very happy to share this, and this is some of the close-ups of my favourite pieces. You can just see here, I love this one with planet systems and the little faces and the trees, and it's called Franklin Summer, as you can see. So we're going to move into the next bit, helmets on the sky, and I found this quite interesting because I took a piece. I was very scared to take a piece, thinking, am I going to get in trouble on this one, or am I going to break it and rip it down? As soon as I did, other people started doing it, and it just made me feel like, what was all the fuss over? Even watching this back when I edit, this room was a bit disorientating for me. I didn't like the feeling of the wet paint because it was those kind of graffiti pens that were being used, and I was just very, 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 very conscious, I know it sounds silly, of ruining my handbag and my outfit. So I just didn't want to get that kind of marker over my bag and stuff, so I was enjoying watching it, but I didn't partake in this one, as I went to touch one of the pens and it was very, very wet and sticky, and yeah. Moving on to this space, this was about our view with a mother, and we were meant to leave notes kind of towards our mother in a relationship, and you look up, and I got it, like the idea of obviously the anatomical parts that are really important of mothering, but at the same time, I just don't know. I felt like if I would have written a note to my mum on this, she would have been like, no, 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 no. So, Mum, I know you're probably watching this. Don't worry, I didn't write a note to you on this one, and you weren't part of this. Moving on to Yoko doing her finale performance before we wrap up into the gift store. Well, I spent 3 hours in the exhibition. I really enjoyed it. I also would recommend to go to the Yoko Ono exhibition. It's one I a little bit dazed because it's got me really in my mind. It's a lot of reading, just to let you know if it is somebody that is not into as much reading with the art. I love words in art, so I feel like this one's really for me. I'm still in the turbine hall, as you can see, and I'm just about to actually have a look around at some other pieces now, because we're in the Tate, why not? It's a beautiful place. But otherwise, it was a beautiful exhibition. I'm really glad I went, and what a beautiful way to spend my Saturday. It's 1:10 now, I came in at 10 o'clock. So, I hope you're enjoying. Thanks for watching, as always.